All right, so far not good. Honestly, wasn't expecting this, but before we talk about what's going on here, let me show you what I took off so far. So these are the heads, the cylinder heads. This one is the driver's side. These are a little bit, well, at least the Scat packs are. They're easier to work on because they have the electric power steering. So you have just a pulley instead of a pump. The heads look fine to me. I haven't really tested them yet. Didn't test the valves out to see if they're leaking. But to do this, the reason why I did a time lapse is because I wanted to get it out the way. I didn't want to keep stop and talk and record and show you guys what I'm doing, but I'll explain that here in a second. So these over here are your rocker assemblies, and you got to be careful when you're doing this. Make sure you mark everything. So these are the left side, and these right here are the right side. And then on the rockers, on one side are the exhaust and the other side is the intake. So the intake side is actually marked with an I. Where is it at? Oh wait, this one. So I'll have it facing the actual block. So right there, that's the intake. So you want to make sure these go back in the same spot. So intake and exhaust. And then on this side, I have intake and exhaust. These push, so somebody's been in this engine before. And the reason why I say that is these push rods don't look like they're factory OEM. They look like it's some sort of aftermarket ones. They look fine, but somebody's been in here before. And you can even see right over here, they zip tied the dipstick to the brake lines. And then look at how that one of those engine bracket bolts are cut. So what I'm thinking is maybe whoever owned this tried to figure it out and try to fix it, but they couldn't fix it, so they put it back together. Probably did an insurance job on it, and I got stuck with it. But what else we got? We got everything off. You want to make sure these push rods go back in the same spot you took them out of, so that's why I have them lined up just like this. So when I'm reinstalling, everything's going back in the same spot. The cylinder head has 10 bolts on each side, so you got the really long ones. A lot of people say you can't reuse these because they, what's that one word for it? They're a one-time use or whatever, but I've never had an issue with them reusing them. So as long as they look fine to me, they're not stretched, I am going to reuse them. And then you have these 10mm bolts. I think there's 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these go right on top over here, right in there. There's 5 of them that run across, and they bolt down to the top of the block. So after getting everything off, it took me like it didn't take me that long. It probably took me like an hour to get to where I'm at right now. I popped all of the hydraulic lifters out. I inspected them one by one. The rollers look fine. So this is what you want to check for when you're taking these off. You want to move the roller around, make sure it doesn't have a lot of wiggle room. And you want to inspect the actual roller to see if there's any scorching or any signs of like wear to the cam. These look fine. So I popped them all off. These are your carriers that hold them all in spots, all in its spot. And there's an 8mm bolt that goes inside of here. That looks like that. And they sit as a set. And then you have a one screw that holds it in there. You take that off and they all pop off. Sometimes the carrier, the bracket, whatever you want to call it, comes off separately, but you can pull these out with a magnet or just using any kind of vice grip will take them off. So these all looked okay. So you got cylinder 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then I got to cylinder number 3. And this is the problem. This lifter is stuck inside. It's like welded to the cam in a way. I tried everything. I tried to put some vice grips on it. I even tried to drill a screw through it and then probably try to hammer that off, which you really don't want to do because if you break it, then you're really screwed. But it's not coming off. So my last resort is going to be to weld on it. Some kind of screw, which I had here somewhere. This thing's been a pain, man. Weld on it some kind of screw like this, or maybe a bigger one like that, and then try to take it off. I have no other choice, but I have to remove that lifter because after I do that, so thank God I didn't take off the timing case yet, because when you take the timing cover off, that's when you pull the cam off. So the cam is, there's no way the cam is coming off unless that lifter comes out. So let me try to demonstrate this with one hand. It's not even turning. These are supposed to be free. So look at this one. If I put this one in, drops all the way in, right? Now if I grab a magnet, it's just slide right out. These lifters are supposed to be very, very smooth. If they're not, that's what's causing the misfire, and it's causing that knock or the tick, whatever it was. So when you go in there one by one, let's say I just pulled this bracket off and I'm going to pull them, go in there like that, and they slide right out. That's how it's supposed to be. But this one over here is not the case. This thing is stuck. Like, even, it won't even go in and out easily. So I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do at this point. I'm gonna stop working right now and try to figure it out. But before I pull the timing cover off, like I said, I want to take that lifter off. 100% sure that the cam is destroyed. So thank God that I got that right in this box. I got everything else that I need, but in order for me to work or move forward, I have to pull that lifter off. So I'm stopping here. Maybe one of you guys or someone who's done this before has a better idea on how to remove that. Like I said, my last resort is going to be to weld on it and try to use a slide hammer to take that off. I just hope those cam bearings aren't worn out, because if those cam bearings are shot, this motor is trashed out, and I gotta put a new motor in it. What else broke on this? Oh, one of these cam phasers also snapped on me right over here, so I gotta get a new one of these. This thing was like jammed in pretty good. I don't know where the other part went, but it just snapped off. But I had to put a screw in there to take the rest of it off because it was stuck inside of it, right in there. There's 4 of these, and one of them broke, so I gotta get a new one of that. But other than that, I'm gonna stop working here because I gotta go start working on the other swap. That one over there, I gotta start stripping that one down. And that one's a whole nother problem too, because it has no brakes, it's running like crap. So I gotta make sure it's running fine before I start gunning it down. But a lot of stuff to do, not enough time. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you stay tuned for the next upload. I'm gonna try to, hopefully by the next upload, I got the lifter off and we can start reselling this motor, and hopefully it fixes the issue. But until next time, if you're new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you back on the next one.